that spirit. And let's get one thing straight. It's not because I'm some goody two-shoes. It's not because I'm high and mighty. It's because I've seen reality. I've discovered reality. I've discovered the real world. And no amount of money is worth it to lie to the public and to try to deceive people with simplistic colloquialisms and pap, because doing that is basically cutting off my own nose to spite my face. It's gouging out my eyes and that of my children. I cannot and I will not join with evil. But over the years, I've had so many people contact me, station owners, sponsors, radio executives, and they say stuff like FEMA Region 6. I mean, the general public doesn't even know what that is. Well, why do you have a liner saying that? Because I want people to think about what FEMA Region 6 means. I want people to tune in at first and think, oh, it's hokey. He's talking about broadcasting from deep behind enemy lines. Because you see, I am broadcasting from behind enemy lines. The establishment sees the United States as done, as captured, as run by the big mega banks, the big Ponzi scheme operators that have created the thousands, I said thousands, of trillions of dollars in fake financial instruments and bought our politicians for less than one millionth of it. In fact, I've had a lot of political analysts on who have pointed out that the average politician in Congress can be bought for a couple $100,000 on a major issue. And these companies can go spend a couple $100,000 per politician, per key politician, campaign chairman, and others, and then have government shut down their competition or give them a government contract worth tens of billions of dollars. And so they literally buy them for pennies, the special interested. And you see, I've made it my life's work to discover who are those special interests and what have they set up and what is their end game and what makes them tick. And I went and read the publications and the books and the white papers and the academic communiques between these different groups, and overall they are eugenicist adherents. That is, they follow the science of eugenics. I know for new listeners, just when you think eugenics, think Hitler. But Hitler didn't invent eugenics. He was one manifestation of eugenics. And our entire world, in their own words, is a laboratory. I was at my parents' a couple hours ago. I took my children over there to visit with them and drop them off. And we were debating when I go out to Florida next month to give some speeches at some radio stations and things, whether I would take them to Disney World. And I know it's a commercial thing and exploitive and all that. I understand that. The point is, do you go experience that as my parents took me to experience it? And we're having a debate about the biometrics, and my dad's saying, it's just about having you opt in to finger scan and all that. They're already face scanning you. And I said, of course. But I said, the point is that I just don't want to be around it. But obviously, it's being expanded out from there. And I said, the whole thing is obviously a Department of Defense laboratory, because everything else is through DARPA. And I had my iPhone, which itself is a DARPA projected creation. And I said, here, let's type in Department of Defense Laboratory Disney Biometrics. Because I'd already seen some of that back in the mid-90s. And I typed in Biometrics Disney. And I found the Electronic Frontier Foundation and other groups, but also found Disney press releases. How, and again, I already knew this, even though I had only small pieces of it over a decade the last time I looked at it. I already knew it was a Department of Defense laboratory. Sure enough, they're all Department of Defense laboratories. Their cruise ships are, and it says it's a Department of Defense deal. They have this new Disney USA, where when you go stay at the, not just Disney World, but this other facility, when you go stay at Disney USA, it's an interactive laboratory.
Give kids the world.
And when you go on the cruise ship, it face scans you, but you get to feel uppity and big, that it talks to you like something out of Minority Report. And of course, they already had technology that face scans you in active billboards before that movie even came out. They had that stuff developed when Philip K. Dick was out in San Francisco writing Minority Report in the 1970s. The truth is, PKD and people like that were actually hanging around with the Silicon Valley people. Everything we've been allowed to see is at least 30 years old. That's what I'm trying to get across to you. And my dad's like, really? It's Department of Defense. And I went and typed that in. Disney, Department of Defense Laboratory. Boom. Whole thing. Human tracking testing system. But so are the grocery stores, the big ones. So are the malls. All of it. I mean, I've been given the tours of the University of Texas Psychology Department. Over 90% of it's DARPA funded. And in there, again, the first time I got a tour of it, like 15 years ago. See, it turns out Disney is testing the Prison City model for the Department of Defense since their first official contract in 1996, and the guys have pulled up some documents for people watching on prisonplanet.tv, but you can actually just type in 1996, it'll pull it up. Because, see, Disney is a city, and so the model of tracking people going into Disney World since 96 was the model they used in Fallujah, thumb scanning, face scanning, and entering it. It's the model at the airport. But just to get you ready for prisoner training, then they put their hands on you as well. It's all dog training. And again, I've covered 1/1,000,000th of the data I've got, okay, literally. I mean, you understand that, right? So the only way we're going to beat this technocracy is realizing it's there. And if you're a new listener like, yeah, right, the Department of Defense Disney, go look it up. If they're not hiding it, they're very proud of it. And it's the model for everything being a giant prison. To make sure you drink your sodium water, sodium fluoride water, and the rest.
When you're out on the road, the last place you want to be is on the road. But if the unfortunate happens, you'll be glad you were wearing diamond gussets.
There's a place down in